Thanks for tuning in to the Movie Know-It-All podcast, part of the Know-It-All Network. For our past listeners, thanks for following us as we make this transition. We have lots of things in store, so stay tuned and be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We're also launching Patreon with exclusive content like early access to brand new episodes, feature-length movie commentaries, and more, all for as little as $5 a month. If you're new here, be prepared for foul language, truth bombs, bad impersonations, and stuff you can't find anywhere else. Remember, other podcasts may know a lot, but we know it all. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Movie Know-It-All podcast here on the Know-It-All Network. We are your hosts. I'm Will.
And I'm Bob. And you know what happens to a toad when it's struck by lightning?
It croaks. It croaks, Storm.
Fuck, that was so much better than what I was going to say. I was going to say the same thing that happens to everybody else.
I mean, listen, I know that you're like supposed to be the least funny of all the X-Men, but come on.
That was painfully unfunny. I gotta tell you, brother, I went back and I watched this movie. It's not as good as I remember.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've been spoiled by a lot of really good X-Men movies.
Yeah, I was like, bro, they spoiled us, because I go back and I watch that and I'm like, wasn't that good. At all. So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. The Know-It-Alls are back after a long hiatus because, life is crazy. Stupid.
But we are back because we are wanting to take advantage of some synergy that is going on because later on this summer, Wolverine is back. And so today we're going to talk about,
No, I was going to say it's so unfair because, once again, DC did it first, and then Marvel's going to be like, no, we'll do it right. And I'm getting so tired. I'm getting so tired of them being able to do it as well as they do. Fucking Disney, man. It's one of these movies. Deadpool and Wolverine is one of these movies that's going to be it's going to be hugely successful.
It's going to make $1 billion.
Easily. Yeah, I think so too. It's one of those things where we're really not ready to it's very Michael Keaton as Batman. Some of us are just not ready to let go. And it's the same thing happening with Hugh Jackman. And I'm glad because he's fantastic. He's a great Wolverine. When it comes to casting everybody that they've cast, Hugh Jackman was still the absolute best choice. And I know he's fucking huge, and Wolverine's supposed to be 5'5", and Hugh Jackman
is 6'2".
Yeah, he's a big son of a bitch.
6'2". Wolverine's supposed to be 5'2".
Yeah, and I've heard people he's an average height, and I just want everybody to know that hurts my fucking feelings because I'm an average height and I am not 6 feet tall.
For what, Giants? No.
Yeah, no, I was like,
So the thing about Hugh Jackman is that he was a last minute choice, right?
Yeah, there was a bunch of other choices.
When he showed up, and I mentioned this to you, when he showed up, his first scene that he ever filmed was in that cage fight scene.
Yeah.
He hadn't worked out.
Oh, you can tell.
At all.
I said the same, dude, we were watching it last night, and I was like, man, you can see literally when he started working out on set. He does get buffer as the movie progresses. It's actually really funny.
Yeah. And it's funny because by the time he stopped his last workouts, they were filming the scene where he was all dressed up in leather.
Yeah. So, couldn't see shit anyway. And it's just it's so funny because if you watch these movies as they go, everything but his face keeps looking younger and younger and younger. It's weird.
Yeah. So, in case you couldn't tell, we're going to be talking about the 2000 X-Men, directed by Bryan Singer, and
We don't say his name.
Yeah. Starring Hugh Jackman, Famke Janssen, freaking Patrick Stewart, and Ian McKellen.
What amazing choices they were. Like, even rewatching that last night, I was like, fuck, dude. Like, Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart are so good, man. Like, they're so good.
So
like,
I'm gonna take us back to pre 2000, if you can remember, 24 years ago.
Oh yeah,
over 24 years ago. Hey, Patty. And
so long ago, no one was alive back then.
Dude, like half our audience wasn't even alive. I'd like to think.
It made me laugh because
I like to think we have a young audience.
The other day when our producer Savvy, we were in a group chat and he says, hey, what is you guys' favorite retro video games? And I was like, do you mean games from 20 years ago or games from when I was a kid? Because it's two different things now. Yeah. Which it's fucking hurt my own. Now. It really hurt my fucking feelings saying that out loud.
When you realize that like the stuff that you grew up on is not even considered retro, it's considered antique.
Yeah. It's fucked
like
up,
retro gaming is like now retro gaming is like, you know, Xbox and Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. Like that's retro gaming.
Fucking absurd to me, but whatever. Fuck my feelings, I guess.
But anyway, so back then, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, comic book movies were how shall we put it? Straight to video fare?
Yeah. They weren't. There wasn't an F. You guys got to remember, it might seem like, because it was essentially almost 20 years ago now. Like we're 4 years short of it being 20 years ago in 2008 when like the superhero thing really took off. Like we had superhero movies prior to that and they either suck shit through a brick or they kind of fell under the radar. X-Men was really the first movie. Good.
No, I was going to say like back then, like we had Batman, we had Superman. I mean, Batman and Robin had just happened. Like it left a stench in everybody's mouth. Like,
yeah,
like the only movies that we were getting was like Tank Girl and Mystery Men and The Mask and like every now and then we'd get a Blade
and the Phantom with Billy fucking Zane.
I don't count that because no.
I am an avid defender of Billy Zane as the Phantom. He should have been Lex Luthor.
I am too. That is a whole nother monster to discuss.
It's a very fun, awful movie, but it is bad.
They were trying to redo Indiana Jones and they threw a pink costume on him. So there you go.
Yeah, it's kind of exactly what they did. And like, you know, if you go back and you watch the stunts in that movie, they're actually really insane. But we'll get to that in another time. Like, that was one of those movies amongst many that just fell by the wayside when it came to superhero movies. Like, and you're right. Every now and again, you would get something like Blade. And like the first
seriously.
Yeah, like the first real advantageous adventure into fucking a superhero universe was X-Men. And nobody knew if it was going to work. No one knew if it was going to work. Even fucking Bryan Singer, like fucking made the movie and he was like, nobody read a comic book. Nobody reads these comic books. Like he didn't get it. He didn't understand the material. The ones who ended up understanding it far better were the actors. Even I had read that Hugh Jackman walked into the audition and was doing his best werewolf. And Bryan Singer was like, what the fuck are you doing?
He didn't know what a Wolverine was.
Yeah, and he was like, I assume it's like a wolf. And he's like, it's more of like an aggressive weasel. And he's like, what the fuck what are you doing here, dude? Like, you want me to play an aggressive weasel?
I'm doing a Wolverine, mate. I mean, isn't this what a Wolverine does? You know, I get on all fours and howl, huh? Didgeridoo, huh?
Vegemite. Vegemite. One of these days, I'm going to taste that nasty shit. Like, I need to know what it tastes like. But like,
either
way, it was one of those things where like nobody really knew what the fuck was going on. Even Ian McKellen was getting ready to turn the movie down because they wanted it to fucking coincide, with fucking filming Lord of the Rings. And he was like, I'm not going to abandon that. Like, move around it if you want me. And he was like, well, we don't know. And then he started reading comics with Magneto in it. And he was like, dude, this is a fucking really good character. And I really want to play him. But like, I will fucking walk away from this for Lord of the Rings. They had to rearrange all the shooting for him, which like, good move. Like smart decision.
I am so glad because honestly, at the time, the only X-Men that the mainstream knew about was the cartoon.
Yeah.
And in the cartoon, if you look at Magneto in the cartoon, he was this buff, muscle-bound, design. But they did the right thing in casting a realistic-looking old man because it makes him even more scary, even in terms of what the power that he's capable of.
Even then, like I'm watching this movie and like that scene where he's using that machine that turns people into mutants, like when he's standing up there, I'm like, I don't know if he's wearing padding or if he's real barrel chested. Like he looks real barrel chested in this movie. Like he was doing what do you call it? Fucking like lifting. Yeah, bench pressing. Yeah. Like he looked like he'd been bench pressing.
like Ian McKellen. Ian McKellen is a twig, dude. Like he's a twig. So yes, he was wearing padding.
Okay, cool. Like I wasn't sure.
But like and then it wasn't until later that I realized how phenomenal of an actor he was, because have you ever seen him like speak and move like the way he like his natural movements and speak patterns?
Yes.
Like he's very much
flamboyant.
A gay man.
He's very flamboyant.
Very much a gay man.
Like it's one of those things where like it's rude to assume, but like you're pretty safe around Ian McKellen assuming. Like exactly. He's not quiet about it. Like he's not. He's very out. Like and that's awesome. Like, that's fucking cool. But like seeing him as Magneto delivering the lines he delivers, like one of the most Magneto
all the weight and gravitas that it deserves.
Yes, dude. Like one of the most Magneto scenes I've ever seen is in this movie, and it's when the cops are fucking surrounding them. And he fucking takes all their guns and he fires one, and like Professor X is controlling Sabretooth and Toad. And he's like, care to press your luck, Charles? And he cocks all the guns and goes, I don't think I can stop them all. Like, that's so fucked up. Like, somebody's going to die. Like, I don't know which one of them is going to be.
But see, here's the thing. If you know anything about Magneto, you know that, yes, he can stop them all.
Yeah, he won't.
But he chooses not. He'll choose not. Yeah, exactly. He won't. Like he's willing to take life.
Like that was him. That was him just letting you know, like somebody's gonna die. I'm not sure which one it's gonna be, but one of these assholes is gonna die. Keep fucking with me. Like it really was a fuck around and find out moment, and like that makes Magneto so fucking cool.
And that's why I think Charles Xavier and Magneto are two of the best antagonists in literature.
Yes.
Not just literature.
In literature, yes.
Because they know each other so well.
They used to be friends.
Magneto knows. Push Charles's buttons. He just has to threaten the human. Charles respects Eric so much. He could easily tell Sabretooth to take the helmet off.
Yeah.
But he doesn't.
He didn't.
Because he respects him,
He respects him enough not to invade his mind. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
and like it's very much
carried on throughout the comics, through the cartoon, everything. Yeah,
yeah, they've done a very good job of keeping that lore. And even though like, because X-Men kind of lost its way too, it started trying the multiverse before we got multiverse, and like, I gotta tell you though, excuse me, I have been kind of wondering about something, because this whole Deadpool Wolverine thing is going to be multiverse, and we are going to mix the Avengers universe in with the X-Men universe, and the X-Men will now be part of the Avengers universe, the universe we're all accustomed to right now. Okay. I don't know whether they're going to restart it again, or if that's a fucking cool figure. Like, that's really nice. You guys can't see it, but Will got himself one of those brand new Hugh Jackman in his Wolverine, his yellow and blue Wolverine costume.
Yeah.
Like it looks.
No, this is the X-Men '97 figure with the Wolverine head.
Oh, nice. That just looks so cool. Very cool. God,
anyway,
man, it's a good look. It's a good looking figure. That's a whole other podcast we ought to do. But anyway, I am rather curious if we're gonna like go back and start like a little anew. Because do you ever think about like the idea of all these bad guys in these universes getting together and Magneto and Red Skull just like, hey, like, I'm sorry, it's in poor taste, but like, am I wrong? Like, Magneto's a survivor of the Holocaust, and Red Skull was a fucking Nazi. like,
don't I know you?
Yeah, you look familiar.
You and I have unfinished business.
Like, I'd watch that fight. I feel like Magneto would rip him the fuck apart, but
dude, big time. So, man, the 2000 X-Men, when we first got the announcement, I remember this very vividly. When we first got the announcement, the cast that they announced, which I think was like 1997 or 1998.
Yeah.
As Wolverine.
Yeah. Even at one point,
Angela Bassett as Storm.
Angela Bassett as Storm would have been good though.
Yeah.
Like, I think she would have been really good in that role. Like, we were just a little too late for Angela Bassett in like 1999. Like, which was, I mean, she's always been good. Yeah, I was like, she could still play Storm. Like, at least one from a different universe and shit. Like, that's what I've always loved that Deadpool joke. Like, I'm taking you to the professor. Like, McAvoy or Stewart? I always get lost in these things.
These timelines are so confusing.
Yeah, and like they can be. And like, I'll give Disney this. I really will. One of my most favorite things that they've ever done was like, it was a fucking cosmic joke from it. Probably, I honestly think you could trace it back to Kevin Smith discussing like whether or not good people died on the Death Star, like in Clerks in '94, because that's when people started asking a lot of questions about Star Wars, and came the hole in the Death Star the size of a womp rat, like that whole thing. And like, well, it seems like kind of a loophole, and Disney like, you know what, asshole, I'll fix it with a whole fucking movie. Like,
you know what, that is why I will always like defend Disney against the trolls.
Yeah,
because they put a lot of stuff out, and like not all of it is gold, but when they make gold, dude, like it's Rogue One,
gold. Rogue One is probably my favorite Star Wars movie, dude.
We needed Rogue One. We needed that.
Yes. So, and I was like, bro, they really made a whole movie to like, fuck you fanboys. Like, that's what it felt like. That whole like, this is why there's a hole in this fucking thing. That's why there's this stupid failsafe in it. They made a guy who was fucking enslaved build it, and he built it with a fucking failsafe to just fucking fuck everything up for these assholes. That's why. Because fuck them. Genius. Yeah. Absolutely fucking genius. And it was a way to like, shut the fuck up. There, we fixed it. Yeah. Disney really will pull their dick out on you. And like, they nailed it.
That's Disney. But that's Disney. This is Fox, dude. This is 2000s Fox.
Yeah, this was Fox. This is before Disney acquired it.
At all. Who didn't care at all. Like, they had no qualms about just like, okay, you know what? Last year, this movie came out called The Matrix. We're just going to rip off those costumes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just like, The Matrix. And you know what, dude? What do you prefer, yellow spandex? We're going to throw that in there because we're going to make fun of our audience.
It only took 24 years for the yellow. It only took 24 years to get Hugh Jackman in yellow spandex. But like
I get it, and I understand that at the time, that's just what it was.
Yeah.
But I mean,
for sure.
and yeah, they tried to do like, if you look at like the Corman Fantastic Four movie, rest in peace, Roger Corman.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the Corman Fantastic Four movie, they look ridiculous, dude.
Oh yeah. But like, that's ridiculous. That's the thing. That's why superhero movies were so hard to make.
The Phantom, on the other hand, looked great.
Mm-hmm.
The Phantom costume looked great. Purple spandex with striped underwear, and it looked good.
You know why? Because it was Billy
really
fucking
depends
Zane.
on how much you're willing to put into it.
Yeah, for sure.
It really depends on how much you're willing to put into it, right? I think that they went the lazy route.
They did. They got lazy.
Here nor there. Yeah, but with the costumes, yeah, because if you look at them, especially in the last scene on Liberty Island, like you can't tell them apart, dude.
No,
like,
you can't. Like you can't, and like that was like, excuse me. the funny thing about like the cartoon, they were wearing the yellow and blue spandex, but you could tell them all apart. Like even if they were all in the distance, you could see who was who. Like it was everything was different and unique enough that you could tell the difference in them. And you can't in this movie. Like they're all wearing the same fucking thing. I will say this though. So I will say this. My absolute like favorite in this movie, at least in looks, like looking at him, I'm like, that's awesome, was James Marsden as Cyclops. And
he was kind of young to play Cyclops, but like, and he was mostly known as a comedic actor.
Yeah.
Like, he was in Sugar and Spice, which he was brilliant in. He was in, what was that movie? Where it was like a horror movie that took place in high school with Katie Holmes. Was it with Katie Holmes? I don't know.
Disturbing Behavior.
Disturbing Behavior. Yeah,
a staple of my youth, bro. That was my favorite new metal. That was my favorite new metal movie. Like it was so lazy. Like with the names like Trent and Gavin, like who's the singer for this band? Like it was so lazy, but like I was like I would have wrote that in like yes, dude. It was like one of those like okay, these are names I would have used in like an 8th grade writing project, and like that's fine. It's still a fun movie, but James Marsden was really good in it. James Marsden's a really good actor, and I do feel really bad for him because like his dream role has always been Superman, and like. Always a bridesmaid, never the bride.
And then they throw him in a Superman movie, and he's like the other guy.
Yeah, and it's because he came
Story
in
of
like
life.
It was one of those things where like he only got that part in the movie because the role was essentially his until they fucking saw Brandon Routh, and they were like, "Are we sure that's not Christopher Reeve's kid?" Like, holy shit, he looks and sounds like him. And then fucking Singer was like, it's technically part 3. This is technically part 3. It's technically part 3. Get Brandon Routh.
With all due respect and love to Mr. Marsden, it was the right choice.
It was. No offense to him because I like James Marsden.
Yes. He was brilliant. I love him.
Like he hasn't been in anything that I haven't really enjoyed in one way or another. And like
Sonic the Hedgehog, dude. He's one of the great parts of Sonic the Hedgehog.
I dug his look so much in this movie. I loved the Oakley visors. Like I thought they were really neat. And I know like he's even said like they were the worst thing ever because you can't really see through them. Like it's a pain in the ass to see anything through those fucking things. And like he did like the sunglasses though. And fun fact that I found out after he did X-Men, Oakley promised him sunglasses for the rest of his life. So to this day, every time there's a new pair of Oakleys, James Marsden receives a pair.
Nice.
Like, he's got like fucking thousands of pairs of Oakleys. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know, man. So, like, joking or not, that is really cool. Like Oakleys are cool. They've never not been cool to me, man. Like So when it was announced that they were going to make an X-Men movie, everybody was like, how are you going to condense 40 plus years of comic book history into an hour-and-a-half movie, 2-hour movie? Well, right now what we're going to do is we're going to take a break, and then when we come back, we're going to discuss the plot. Honestly, with what they did with the movie, the plot is actually really, really good. And it makes an amazing standalone movie. Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, it would have made a fantastic 3-episode arc in X-Men in the cartoon.
Exactly. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a real quick break, and when we come back, we'll discuss that here on the Movie Know It All podcast and the Know It All Network. We'll be right back.
Hey, Know It All Ned here. Thanks for tuning into the Movie Know It All podcast, part of the Know It All Network. For our past listeners, thanks for following us as we make this transition. We have lots of things in store, so stay tuned and be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We are also launching Patreon with exclusive content like early access to brand new episodes, feature-length movie commentaries, and more, all for as little as $5 a month. If you're new here, be prepared for foul language, truth bombs, bad impersonations, and stuff you literally can't find anywhere else. Remember, other podcasts may know a lot, but we know it all.
I'm Charles Xavier. Would you like some breakfast? Where am I? Westchester, New York. You were attacked. My people brought you here for medical attention. I don't need medical attention. Of course. Where's the girl? Rogue? She's here. She's fine. Really? Logan, I'd like you to meet Aurora Monroe, also called Storm. This is Scott Summers, also called Cyclops. They saved your life. I believe you've already met Dr. Jean Grey. You're in my school for the gifted. Mutants. You'll be safe here from Magneto. It's a Magneto, a very powerful mutant who believes that war is brewing between mutants and the rest of humanity. Happens to his activity for some time. No attack to an associate of his called Sabretooth. Sabretooth. Storm. What do they call you? Wheels? This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Cyclops, man. You want to get out of my way? Okay. It's been almost 15 years, hasn't it? Living from day to day, moving from place to place, with no memory of who or what you are. Shut up. Give me a chance. I may be able to help you find some answers. No, you're not the only one with gifts. Where are you going? Where's he going? He's over there. What are you doing? Over. What is this place?
What I love about this scene is that it basically highlights each one of their characters.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman does a real good job of being the casual audience that just came to see an action movie. They have no idea this is a comic book. They saw a guy with claws and it looked cool, and when he's over there and like also known as Sabretooth, also known as Storm, as Cyclops, and like what do they call you? Wheels is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, get the fuck out of the way.
And the original line was, what do they call you, Baldy? Wheels is such a better line. Like,
Wheels
so
is
much
way
better.
funnier. That's a much funnier line.
So the thing about that, I bring that up because when he grabs Cyclops, and then Cyclops just like looks over at Charles, like, are you gonna take care of this guy? Like, because
Charlie, get your boy, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
there is no ego in Cyclops, right?
Yeah.
There's like no ego in this character of Cyclops,
She's like,
and I love it. Like it's and you find out that Wolverine is like, he doesn't know who he is, he doesn't know where he's from, he doesn't know anything about himself, but Charles knows,
Yeah.
So
like, he knows some things about him.
all the 40 years of because the X-Men started in the 60s, right?
Right.
Wolverine wasn't created until the late 70s.
Right.
So Wolverine's not the main character of X-Men.
No, he's
Xavier and Cyclops is and Storm, like all they are the main characters, right?
Yeah.
So of course the big draw is Wolverine, so that's fine, whatever.
Which
So
is smart. It was smart to hitch
like,
your wagon to Wolverine and like
it really was, especially Hugh Jackman. Like they got so lucky when they found Hugh Jackman.
Yes, they did. They got very lucky.
So what is this movie about? Okay. We've been waiting for so long. One of the best cartoons of our childhood was X-Men, the animated series.
Absolutely.
Like, everything's great. Everything's coming together. They got the director from The Usual Suspects to direct it. They're going to take this seriously. Like it's going to be a big screen X-Men movie finally after all these years. And we open up on the Holocaust.
No shit.
Like, okay, you want a serious movie? This is fucking serious.
Yeah, I was a real like, okay, maybe relax a little bit because we're not like again.
Yeah.
I just watched this movie again for the first time in like ages last night. It's been like well over 10 years since I've watched X-Men. And like I forgot that it starts off like that. And I'm like, one, awesome. Two, holy shit, dude. Like
but I gotta tell you, man, like this scene sets the tone and it makes you like, I'm not saying Magneto is right for doing what he does, but I understand. You know?
That's the whole point.
Like everything you need to know about Magneto's motivation. Yeah. Everything you need to know about his motivation is in this scene, and it is shot brilliantly. It's acted brilliantly. Like in the rain and the colors, and like it's like no comic book movie has ever been shot this way.
No, it hasn't.
Not even
hadn't been.
Batman wasn't shot this way. Superman was all brilliant, like with the light, like it was lighthearted and everything. No, dude, this movie was shot like Schindler's List.
They did a very good job. Like the one thing that you and I'm glad that they at least understood that there is a real like the darkness of human depravity is on full display in X-Men stories all the time. Like Magneto doesn't trust humans because he's seen what monsters they can be. Like understandably why he doesn't trust people who aren't mutants. Like he's seen what they can do. He sees what they can do to each other. What'll they do to us? Like I've seen them, they experiment on them. I've seen it firsthand. Like they experiment on other people and they cut them open and they do horrible things to them. Like you understand why like Magneto's the personification of that inscription in Auschwitz, the if there is a God, he has to answer to me. Like I've got some fucking questions for you, asshole. Like very defiant to the end. And that's Magneto to a fault. He is defiant to the end, like at the detriment of his own cause. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
and then there's Charles, you know. Charles isn't introduced until later, but the thing about it is that when Stan Lee came up with these two characters, one was supposed to be reminiscent of Malcolm X, Magneto.
Right.
And the other one was supposed to be reminiscent of Martin Luther King.
Yeah, big time.
You know, they both have a common goal, but they both go about it in way different ways.
Yeah, you know? Like Charles is very
Charles,
peace, and Magneto's is peace through superior firepower. Like,
if you look at Charles's lair, it's a school with children where he teaches lessons, you know, education. You know, he goes among humans. Everybody knows who he is. Magneto is underground in a cave with animalistic mutants or mutants that don't look human. You know?
Mutants that can't hide that they're mutants.
Exactly. These are the people that he surrounds himself with, you know? And the scene where they're having a hearing about mutants,
Mhm.
is very reminiscent of the hearings that we've been hearing recently. Last, I don't know how long, about gun control, about immigrants.
It's very tragic.
About homosexuals.
It's insanely tragic that like this setting will work forever, because as long as there are people will oppose one another. It's a fucking,
as long as they're intolerant.
Yeah, it's a tragedy of life. We will never, like, it's one of those things where, so like I try to not be on Twitter so much. I know it's called X now, but fuck Elon Musk, I'll dead name him all I want. I'll dead name his company all I want. But now
I'm not on Twitter.
The way the algorithm works now on Twitter is whatever you comment on toward negatively will keep popping up in your algorithm. Like
same thing with Facebook.
Yeah, like I fucking it's bad on X now. Like I use X mostly for wrestling, like wrestling Twitter. And like I engage in that all the time, but it doesn't pop up on my feed as much as like Greg Abbott or Ted Cruz or anybody else that I've taken a moment to make fun of. You know who comes up on my shit all the time and I do not follow that psycho is Marjorie Taylor Greene. And like, but I've made fun of her several times on Twitter. So it keeps showing. Yeah, I guess it's my fault. And like I did, like the moment Trump was indicted for all that stuff, I made fun of Donald Trump Jr. And I said, it doesn't matter if there's 5 feet of bulletproof glass between you and him, he'll never hug you or respect you. And like I got thrown off of Twitter for a week. I'm still like, it's been like 9 days. Like it's been more than a week. Hello. And like it's one of those things for me where I'm like, that's so like weird. But like you see it all the time, and like they blame everybody, and it's everybody else's fault. It's never their fault. It's nobody else's fault but everybody else. But it's the foreigners' fault. It's the trans people's fault. It's so fucking tragic. And like this is what they've always done with X-Men. And it's one of those really like tragic lessons where it's like you can understand that, but you can't understand real life. Like I don't get you guys like at all. Like it's bizarre to me.
Real quick, I want to make this point real quick because I want to add on to what you're saying right now. The scene where they're walking through the hallway.
Yeah.
And then Charles says, mankind has evolved since then. And then Magneto says, yes, into us. Yeah. Like, how can you I can see both sides of that particular argument.
Mm-hmm.
I can see Magneto's side. I can see myself siding with Magneto.
Yeah. We're the Neanderthal. I can see myself
siding with Charles.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Mankind has evolved into us. Like we are the next step of human evolution. We are what they were to, the
Neanderthal.
The Neanderthals.
Yeah.
They took over the world from them. Now we are next in line.
Yeah.
I get
like
that.
It's our turn.
Now, to add on to your point, nowadays, and I'm going to bring up X-Men 97 to show my point. Morph in the original cartoon, in the original comic books, was non-binary.
Right.
In the original comic books in the 70s and the 80s, he was non-binary. He didn't have hair. He was pale. He didn't have any features. Nothing. Didn't have anything. In the cartoon, they gave him a male facade. They gave him a male look. Okay? Which I understand. Like, you have to give him something because you need to sell toys. I get it.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say it's a toy thing.
Now, when they brought X-Men 97 back, they put Morph's original look back in. Mm-hmm. And they made him non-binary because he's a morpher. He doesn't have a sex. He's asexual. Okay? Yeah. In terms of physical appearance. Mm-hmm. Right? People went crazy. I've been an X-Men fan all my life, and I don't like this new woke direction. Okay, you were never an X-Men fan to begin with.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think you get it. Like,
X-Men has always been an allegory, a very effective one, very effective allegory for racism, sexism, discrimination of any type.
yeah, like any kind of xenophobia, man.
And the fact that Bryan Singer himself is a homosexual, and I guess went through all that as well, was he put those experiences into this film. And that's what makes it so great, in my opinion. Despite what he's done, despite what a pathetic but despicable human being he is.
Piece of shit human he is, yeah.
Yeah. He still had that point of view. And you could still extricate that message from this film.
They did a very good job of keeping that message on point. They did a very good job of keeping that message on point. And like, that was one of the things that I really, really like hoped for with this movie. And going back and watching it, man, you feel it between Charles and Magneto. Like, you feel their fucking, like, their opposing sides. You feel the love and
respect that they have for each other.
Yeah, and then the opposing dynamics that they both believe, like, they are going in two different directions. And it's like, dude, get on board. Like, the both of them are very get on board with it, dude. Like, it's gonna happen this way. And like, it is two very stubborn people going through a breakup. Like,
and there's this line that when Charles is talking to Wolverine and they're going through the montage and they're walking through the school and stuff. There's a line, and this is what makes Patrick Stewart such a great actor. And like, he's always like, Charles Xavier has always been Patrick Stewart. Patrick Stewart has always been Charles Xavier.
Yeah, absolutely.
The line that he says, he's like, I met a man named Eric Lensher. And when he said that, he had this smile, this look on his face of like love and evocation. Like, he was like, I admire this person. And then he turns around and he's like, he became Magneto. And there's this anger and there's this frustration in his voice. Like, he became Magneto, you know? Like, my friend's still there, you know? Like, we have these opposing viewpoints. But my friend, he is my friend.
Yeah.
I'm having to go against him, and I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah, like, it's driving them. It drives them both nuts. But like, Magneto is very much like, dude, like, I will fucking kill you if I have to. Like, I don't want to kill you. I want you on my side. But like, brother, I will fucking kill you. It is very like North versus South. It's and you know, happy Pride Month to them and their bullshit. But like, it's very much a fucking breakup. Like,
honestly, if Patrick Stewart, I think that Patrick Stewart would go gay for only one person, and it's Ian McKellen.
Probably. Like,
but anyway, I don't know, man. Ian McKellen is so gay. It's not. Is it really considered going gay?
No shit, right? Like, he's just going.
So to add on to that. There's a line that Ian McKellen says, okay, where he's talking about the Statue of Liberty. And he says, I first saw her in 1949. America was supposed to be the land of tolerance, the land of peace. And then Rogue says, are you going to kill me? And he looks over at her like as if he's like, you know, like as if it hurts him to say yes.
Yeah, like, and no qualm though.
Why. Yeah, like he's like, yes, like, I'm sorry, but yes, I'm gonna kill you. And she says, why? And then he says, because there is no land of tolerance. There is no peace. Like, it's Shakespearean, bro. Shakespearean.
It is. It's very like, dude, I don't want to kill you. Like, I'm not doing this to be cruel. I'm doing it to save us. Like,
there's a reason why I'm not doing this because I'm evil. I'm doing this because I'm trying to save my people.
Yeah, and it comes across that way too. Like, they do a very good job of like having it come across that way. Like, he's not trying to be. It's not a Lex Luthor, like, fucking, you know, we're gonna sink the ocean for retail. Like,
causing the deaths of thousands of innocent people.
Yeah, like, it's not cruelty. It's just like, bro, everybody's gonna have to catch up. They want to be a part of this world. They're gonna be a part of my fucking world. Like I am not going to be second banana to these fucking monkeys. And I understand, like it's very, and like weird to hearken to other movies because a lot of people are too stupid to catch allegories, I guess. And I'm not trying to be a dick, but it's very Planet of the Apes. It is very like, I will not be second banana to a fucking ape. Like, no, I don't care how smart they are.
But look at his plan.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Magneto's plan. His plan is to turn the world leaders into mutants.
Yeah.
Does he understand human like psyche or what?
Yeah, absolutely. Like absolutely. I've joked about it a lot with politicians. I was like, oh, fucking take them across the border and let them fucking come over here to see how fucking easy it is for everybody to just sneak across. Like it's a fucking nightmarish and ghoulish journey for those people. And like even the ones who fucking do it legally, they are putting them through the fucking ringer. Like it's sadistic. The amount of shit that the hoops that these people have to jump through to come to a country where a bunch of assholes will fucking walk up to them and tell them to go back to their country as if they didn't fight to fucking get here, legally or not. I could give a fuck. Like there's this wave of racism under the guise of patriotism, and it's utter horseshit.
They go hand in hand, honestly. Racism and patriotism hand in hand.
Yeah, and it's one of these like, it's very sad to watch, and like it's like that meme, and it makes me laugh because I laugh to stop myself from crying, where it says I'm kind of tired of living through all these historical events. Like I'd really like this to stop. Like we shouldn't be we shouldn't be arguing over whether or not people are considered people. Like I don't understand this notion, and if that makes me a fucking whatever you assholes want to make up or call me, and like this another thing I keep doing on fucking Twitter is like every time like a Republican gets mad, I always go, "Oh, the Democrats are coming for your guns, and then they're gonna turn your kids gay or trans or whatever fucking bullshit you idiots make up in your weird fucking brains." Like, it's bizarre to me, and like this whole notion of like, because I haven't seen X-Men '97 yet. I haven't, and I've been meaning to, but I've just not jumped in on it, and I need to jump in on it. Especially now, I'm kind of on an X-Men kick.
One thing, man. I will tell you one thing, dude. X-Men '97 makes all the other X-Men media like you can't go back, dude.
Yeah, I've heard. Like, I've heard it's astonishingly good.
I watched X-Men '97, and then I went back to watch X-Men, like the movie, and like. There's no comparison, dude. Like
knocks the piss right out of it. Huh?
It's like playing Super Mario World and then going back and playing the original Super Mario Brothers. Like it was good for its time, but
yeah. I can't fly
X-Men
in this one.
It's such a great, like, I can't even describe it, man. X-Men '97 is a game changer. And if this is what Disney is going to do with X-Men, I'm going to throw away all my X-Men DVDs, my Fox X DVDs, because this is everything, dude. Like, DC can't touch the shit. DC can't touch the shit.
That's the crazy. I've heard nothing but good things about X-Men '97. I haven't heard. The only negativity I've heard is from dipshits who are like, "Oh, I don't like that it's woke now," and I'm like, "Sir, this thing has never had eyelids. Like, it's been woke before you started misusing that word. Like, I don't understand."
There's a character in the show that's basically like a representation of everybody who says that.
Yeah. Okay. Good. There needs
there
to
you
be.
go. But anyway,
Like they're
back to the movie.
unfortunate. They're unfortunately people, and they represent them. And like a lot of people are like, well, it makes us come off as an asshole. I'm like, how do you guys think you're coming off?
Well, dude, if the shoe fits.
Yeah, that's why I'm like,
Yeah.
you guys think you're coming off as like smart, like or
Yeah.
like what is it? Because like, look, man, like I know that history's written by the victors, and you assholes are convinced we've won everything, but like, fine, you don't even have to crack a book. Google it. Like,
Yeah.
This has been a thing where like historically is always wrong. We've all agreed on
Dude,
this.
There's a reason why people that sound like you and people that you agree with are always the bad guys in the movies.
Yeah,
there's a reason.
You assholes are like supporting the villain. Like,
yeah,
how do you watch Star Wars and you support the Empire? Like, I don't get it.
You're like, you know what? Darth Vader has a point.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like you guys understand you're siding with the bad guys, right? Like, come on, man. Like I know I get mad, but I really don't get it. I really don't understand. And X-Men has always kind of played on that. And that's why this whole like, oh, it's woke. I'm like, it's X-Men, genius. Like, it's always been an allegory for xenophobia, for racism, for homophobia. Like, wherever fucking humans are marginalized, that's who the X-Men are for. Like, wherever human beings are marginalized for being what you perceive as different, that's what the X-Men are for. It's never been woke. It's always been X-Men. Like, you guys are weird.
And watching this movie, like there's a hint of that. There's a lot more of that in X-Men 2, which is a way better film in my opinion.
Yes, it is. That's the thing. A lot of these movies like get better.
X-Men 3 is I can't watch X-Men 3 anymore.
I don't. Okay, so I'm gonna and defend. I can't believe I'm gonna defend Ratner here, but if you've watched 1 and 2 and you've understood and enjoyed 1 and 2 and can look at 1 and 2 and go, okay, 1 was cool, 2 was awesome. 3 is very much I've come this far of the movies. And like, it's fine. There's not a whole lot of story in X-Men 3, but it is very
It's one good thing. There's one good thing about X-Men 3. Kelsey Grammer is beast.
I was about to say, I was like, is that Kelsey Grammer to you too? Like, I can't he's one of the reasons that I can't hate that movie, because there was for me anyway, there was never anybody else to play Beast.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't picture anybody else. Nobody else would come to mind. Like, anybody that anyone would suggest, I was like, absolutely fucking not. Like, you are incorrect. Yeah. Kelsey Grammer is Hank McCoy. Kelsey Grammer is Beast.
You know he was in this. You know, Hank McCoy was in X-Men.
Yeah, the voice actor.
There was a scene. No, well, yeah, him too. He was the guy that said, "This is Laughlin City."
Yeah.
But there is a scene where they're on television, and it says Hank McCoy on the bottom.
Oh yeah.
In his human form.
Yeah, and like, I dig what they did with him. Like, it's one of the main, like I said, one of the main reasons I couldn't hate the movie. It lost itself. It's very silly, but again, you've come this far. You don't need to know what Magneto's doing. You know what Magneto's doing. You don't need to fucking know what the X-Men are doing. You know what they're doing. We're just gonna jump to the fucking action now, and I get it.
Yeah,
like, I was fine with it. It is very much the rush hour of the X-Men movies, but
they got some of the best stories. Like, they got 2 stories. They got one from Chris Claremont, and they got the other story from Joss Whedon.
Yeah,
Joss Whedon is the one that came up with the story, The Cure.
Yeah,
and Claremont came up with a Phoenix Saga, right?
Yeah, which was bad.
I think
they did such a bad job. in this movie with the
And they
Phoenix
set
story.
it up so real. That's why I hate it so much, because they set it up in X-Men 2.
Yeah, they really do
Like,
take
it's
the
so
piss out of it in part 3. I was so excited at the end of X-Men 2. I was like, damn, we're gonna do the Phoenix saga. Like hyped up. I am ready. And like, piss up a robot.
Like, no, she's just mad, quiet, and
Dumb.
that's it.
It was one of those things that I was like, well, it can't get any worse than that. And like,
and then they made that,
and then they fucking made Deadpool with no mouth, and they made Liev Schreiber Sabretooth. Wow, what a bad decision that was. I like Liev Schreiber a lot.
I don't know, man. I thought Liev Schreiber made an awesome Sabretooth.
I not okay. So like, in defense of Liev Schreiber, because I really like that guy. I think
he was kind of scary.
Yeah, I think he's a fantastic actor. The problem is really? they designed him to look like a kitty. He looked like a kitty cat.
Well, and how did he look smaller than Hugh Jackman, or the same size? Like, because
they're the same goddamn size. He's huge.
Yeah, like Liev Schreiber is huge.
And like, that's the problem. He looked like a baby bobcat. Like, that's what he looked like to me. Every time I see him, and I'm like, he looks like a cuddly bobcat that I would take into my house. And like,
I thought Tyler Mane looked great.
They
didn't give him anything.
No, I was like, he looked exceptionally amazing as Sabretooth. And like, he had no dialogue. He had no fucking story.
The fact that him and Wolverine didn't know each other, like,
that made me so fucking angry. Like, even watching it again last night, I was like, that is so fucking stupid. Like, they should know who at the very least, he should know that asshole is his fucking enemy. He don't know why he's his enemy. He doesn't know why he hates him, but that guy's a dick. And like, nothing. They just get into a fight.
I will say one thing, man. I will say the best, maybe like one of the top 3 scenes in any X-Men movie is the opening, the X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Oh my God. It's one of the best openings to a fucking comic book movie I've ever seen. It don't get no better than the opening scene of X-Men Origins. It don't get no better. Yeah. The movie peaks at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, it peaks so hard. It should have been an hour and a half montage like that. Like,
the X-Men movie of the year 2000, dude, like it really set up, and it's because of that movie, and I'll give that movie and Blade credit. It's because of those movies that we have, all the movies that we have nowadays, that we are so spoiled when it comes to comic book movies, superhero movies and stuff.
There was a time.
No, I was going to say, like, I don't care that we get like a million Sonyverse movies as long as we get, Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
I don't care.
And like, even then,
I'm not going to watch them.
Even then, I watched the trailer for the new Venom movie. I was like, well, so I guess I'll watch it. I've never seen a good Venom movie, but I'm going to watch this one anyway. Like, they're all bad. I haven't watched the Morbius yet because everybody on that movie really thought they got the joke. And I'm like, no, you are the joke. Like, you're the punchline. Like, don't try to laugh with us. We're all laughing at you. Like, we're not doing this so you can laugh at yourself.
Honestly, like, I tried watching it, and Jared Leto is just too much for me. Like, I can't with Jared Leto. Like, he's. There was a time when I really, really enjoyed Jared Leto.
Yeah, me too.
Really enjoyed him. But like, ever since he played the Joker, like, I can't.
Like, what happened to him?
I can't sanction his buffoonery.
I cannot sanction his buffoonery. Like, it really is, dude. Like, I feel like Tommy Lee Jones in '97. Like, is he fucking annoying anybody else, or is it just me? Like, I feel kind of bad, but it's the truth, man.
So like if you're gonna watch one X-Men movie, watch Days of Future Past.
Oh God, what a good movie!
But
great movie.
If you're gonna go down the rabbit hole. But if you're going to go down the rabbit hole of X-Men movies, the first X-Men is the perfect jumping off point, especially for people who know nothing about X-Men, know nothing about mutants, about comics. It's like, it's a perfect jump off point.
like, don't expect it to be like Iron Man good. Like, you guys have to remember that there was a point in time, at least we're old enough to remember it, where like we were starved for superhero movies. Like, we had to fucking beg and plead and scream and fucking go to Comic-Cons before they were cool and like fucking talk to an actor or producer, a fucking, God forbid, a director that was there. Like, when are you going to do this movie? When are you going to do that movie? When are we going to get this? And like bitch and moan and cry and fucking whine. And like,
like
we never
Girl.
got, like we never got what we wanted. Like we never got the stories that we wanted. And now like you're fucking begging for something other than a goddamn superhero movie. And it's like, no.
Do you know what a pipe dream a movie like Avengers was back then?
God,
like,
it was an insane thought.
It was an insane thought, dude.
Like,
it was
one
like
of those
we barely got it in the cartoons. We barely got it in Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah,
crossover.
Now
it's like,
you'd have asked me in 2000 if we'd ever see an Avengers movie. I would have said never in our lifetime. Never in our lifetime will we see something like that.
If you'd have asked me, hey, do you think we're ever going to see Apocalypse on screen? I would have said,
never.
No way, dude.
Never.
Do that? Kidding me?
I was like, you can't. They proved that you can't, but like,
yeah.
Like it's hard. Like, there's some things that are just like, I would have never thought I'd have seen Darkseid on screen ever. And like, Darkseid was amazing in fucking Zack Snyder's Justice League. Yeah. And like, there was so much that like we just like crossed our fingers and hoped for. And like, now it's you're getting D-list superheroes at this point. Like,
Iron Man was a D-list superhero.
Iron Man was a D-list superhero. Like, I can remember, like, I don't remember what movie I went to go see, but the trailer for The Dark Knight dropped in this movie. And I was like, God, that looks so amazing. And then the next time I went to the theater, which was maybe like a week later, the trailer for Iron Man dropped. And buddy, let me tell you, I have seen some trailers in my life that have made me go, fuck me to death. I want to see that. And like, I've never been an Iron Man guy. I was never like, fucking Iron Man's my guy. Like, Iron Man was a cut rate D-list superhero. And then
I never even watched the cartoon growing up.
Me neither. And then I'm seeing fucking Robert Downey Jr. is going to play him. I had no idea they were making this movie. And I'm like, all right, on Robert Downey Jr. in a trailer. I'll watch whatever with Robert Downey Jr. And I'm watching it and I'm like, did I just hear them call him Tony Stark? Like, is this an Iron Man movie? What fucking stupid idiot thought this was going to be a good idea? And like, as that trailer progresses and you hear that, and I'm like, oh, okay, they're going to use fucking Sabbath. And the way they cut that scene with the old iron suit, and I'm like, what the fuck? And at the end of the trailer, you see him going Mach 5 and flying past the fucking Black Hawk jet. I'm like, okay, like that looks fucking neat. Like that.
So I'm going to end the show with this thought. When Superman came out, 1977 or 78, 1978, when Superman came out, they built, like, the big name of that movie was Marlon Brando.
Yeah.
And Gene Hackman. In Batman 1989, the big name was Jack Nicholson.
Right.
Okay. In X-Men, what was the big name? Like,
Patrick Stewart.
I mean, I guess the most well-known was Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen, right?
They revolved the whole thing around Patrick Stewart. Bro, do you remember? I don't know if you remember this. They revolved it around Patrick Stewart and Anna Paquin. Like, they were pushing Anna Paquin.
Anna Paquin was an Academy Award winner.
Yes,
the youngest Academy Award winner in history.
Yeah, their brand new young star. Yeah. Their new young star who's they're gonna hitch their wagon to. Like, prior to her, they wanted Natalie Portman, and Natalie Portman turned it down. And like, so now they have, and now they have Anna Paquin, and they're going to revolve the whole thing around her and Patrick Stewart. Like, Hugh Jackman was such an afterthought. Like, nobody knows who he is.
So,
and like, now you revolve your whole ass movies around Hugh Jackman.
Yeah. That was originally supposed to be Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe turned it down. He said, "Hey, why don't you just get my friend Hugh?"
Thank God. I'm so grateful he turned that down.
So now you get superhero movies. Academy Award winner Robert Downey Jr., Academy Award Scarlett Johansson, Academy Award winner Brie Larson, Academy Award nominee Mark Ruffalo, Academy Award nominee all these Don Cheadle, all these different names.
MTV Best Kiss winner Tobey Maguire.
All these names are now headlining, like the main character, not just a bad guy, not just a glorified cameo, the main character.
Yeah.
You can get these big names now.
People fight to be in superhero movies.
People fight to be in superhero movies, dude. Mahershala Ali said, "You know what? I want a Blade movie." They're like, "Let's go." Academy Award winner Mahershala Ali. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing his name. Like, he had just won the Oscar, and they asked him, like, "What do you want to do next?" He's like, "I want to be in a superhero movie."
Yeah, bro. And you gotta fucking like, it's utterly insane how
You make it happen.
So I just read that fucking, I haven't seen it yet, but I intend on I want to go to the theater to see it, but I'll stream it if it comes out first. Like, it don't matter to me. But I want to see Furiosa. Well, on the set of Furiosa, they asked George Miller how he enjoyed working with Chris Hemsworth. And he said, he's one of the finest actors I've ever worked with. And I would do anything with that guy again. And Chris Hemsworth said, "Do you want to direct a Thor movie?" And he had said, "Have your people call my people." Like, so now George Miller may direct the next Thor movie. George fucking Miller. And I say it to Patty all the time.
Kenneth Branagh directed the first one.
Yeah. And like,
top names.
I tell Patty all the time, like, whenever we talk about Mad Max movies, I'm like, bro, they don't make directors like George Miller anymore. Those types of directors do not exist. Like, this guy was like David Lynch, Stanley Kubrick. Like, these are the directors that this guy was in the echelon with, like real fucking movie makers. And
George
like,
Miller just keeps getting better. This dude's in his 80s, and he's like, his movies are getting better.
Yeah, and like, now he may in fact direct the next Thor movie. Like, at his age, the last thing he could ever direct could be a Thor movie. And like, I would fucking give my left nut to see a George Miller Thor movie. Like, that is going to be absurdity on levels that we cannot possibly understand yet. And like, and he like, the fact that he liked Hemsworth enough to like, bro, superhero movies are such a fucking cool part of like our movies now, that I would love to be part of that. If you're the actor, I would love to be a part of that. And buddy, if anybody knows what a good actor is, it's George fucking Miller. And if George Miller tells you that Hemsworth is a fucking great actor, you can take that to the fucking bank. Like, to get cash it fucking traded in for gold. I don't give a fuck. It's the truth. So like, I look forward, I'm hoping like we get that at some point. Like, that's amazing. Like, it's an incredible thought to me. I look forward to everything in all superhero universes. I'm excited for James Gunn's new DC universe. I'm excited to see where fucking Peacemaker goes. We're getting a season 2 of that. Another absurd superhero to make anything out of, even if he was in the cartoon. What a stupid fucking choice that is. Like, it's crazy the world we live in now. And like, this movie came out at a time where we couldn't fathom the idea of an actual X-Men movie. It was a fucking pipe dream, guys. It was crazy.
It had to be realistic. It had to be grounded in reality. It had to be all this stuff. And now, like we're going, like we got a raccoon with guns.
Yeah,
Main
like
character.
Marvel really fucking kicking the door down. They tore a hole in the wall, a big fucking hole in the wall. And like they really hit it big when they did like, because they had a trifecta of really good movies. They had X-Men, they had Blade, and then they had Spider-Man. And like they were nailing it. Like Spider-Man nailed it. Like really fucking nailed it. Like they did everything right with that movie. It's so cheesy and hokey, but it's so perfect in its own universe. And like same thing with Blade.
Because it went the exact opposite of what X-Men did.
Right. And like
it stayed in its comic book roots. And I love that Sam Raimi brought that 60s aesthetic to it.
Yeah, you know? It really is like the Adam West of fucking like Spider-Man movies. And it's fun.
And it still works.
Yes.
And it showed that, yes, you can put on a colorful costume and still make it work.
I understand so many people, because I've met so many people who are like, Toby's my Spider-Man, Andrew's my Spider-Man, fucking Tom Holland is my Spider-Man. And I understand.
They're all my Spider-Man.
Yeah, I understand all three of those people. It's the same thing when I meet Michael Keaton's my Batman, Christian Bale's my Batman, Ben Affleck is my Batman. I've met there's fucking kids now that'll tell you that Robert Pattinson is their fucking Batman. And I get everybody. I understand why.
And I'll tell them you got good taste in Batman, kid.
Yeah. Like
I'll tell them you got good Batman, kid.
Yeah, you do.
But there's only one Wolverine.
I was about to say that. And there's only one Wolverine, and that's because like there's supposed to be a bunch in the Deadpool Wolverine movie, because they're gonna do multiverse, right? Like I've read that Henry Cavill's gonna be a Wolverine. Like what a fucking funny choice that is. There's only
one J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah, I hope that joke continues. That like no matter where they go in the multiverse, J.K. Simonson is always Jameson. Like whether it's newspaper Jameson or Alex Jones Jameson. By the way, I am looking forward to that raid. I know Alex Jones is a fan of our show, and I know he's listening right now, and I just want him to know I hope they rip you out of your studio kicking and screaming, and they just disassemble everything in front of you. I hope your last video is shot in your basement through your phone. I hope they take your phone. Like, you're a piece of shit and you deserve every horrible thing that's going to happen to you. Really, I hope they take your fucking shoes. I'm so far from kidding. But regardless all I'm going to say is that, and like I've said before, I've never wished ill on anybody, but I have watched people go through things with great glee. Yeah, and oh man, like watching him cry on video was so delightful. Like it's like God
that was so fake. Like,
for sure,
such a tool. A tool.
But watching him cry over this whole situation, it really felt like Caldo in the winter. Like it just warmed my soul. Like it really did. I can't stand him. He's one of those people that Magneto was trying to warn you about. So like,
yeah, he looks and sounds like he belonged to Friends of Humanity.
Yeah.
If you've seen X-Men 97, you know who that is.
I'm jumping on it. I'm going to jump on it after this podcast. I can't wait to watch it.
So,
like,
hey, so do you want to talk about it after?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Well, look forward to that. But yeah, man, that was X-Men 2000. I like it. It's one of my favorites.
I enjoy it too.
I'm going to say yes, it holds up. But there's a lot better stuff out there.
Yeah,
but,
like if you've gone, I'm going to put it this way. If you've gone through the Avengers universe and like you've enjoyed Deadpool, and now that you're watching it, you're like, you know what? I've never watched those X-Men movies. I think I'm going to jump on a few of them. Listen, it's not
necessary. I think I'm going to say it's necessary to watch Deadpool. In order to watch Deadpool and Wolverine, you probably have to watch this movie.
You probably have to watch these. But here's the thing. Yeah. You're going to jump on them expecting them to be, if you expect them to be the Marvel universe that you've watched, it is not Guardians of the Galaxy exciting. It's
No.
not Iron Man exciting. It's not going to be that level. There is a lot of political shit in it. And if you're one of these people who's like, oh, I don't like any of that woke bullshit, don't watch my fucking movies. Please don't watch movies that I enjoy. Watch fucking something else. Watch Glory and be mad that fucking Matthew Broderick and fucking Morgan Freeman are friends. I don't care what you do. Like,
Dude, Point USA has its own channel. Go watch that shit.
yeah,
Anyway.
there you go. Like, enjoy Alex Jones while you can. Do whatever you want to do. But like,
and Ben Shapiro has his own movie company. Watch that shit.
Oh, does he really?
Yeah, hey. Yeah, he does.
What's it called? Dry Wife Films?
I don't know, but
I'm terrible.
But they just released a movie called Lady Ballers, and it's about a bunch of guys who can't play basketball, so they dress as women and try to join the ladies' league.
Isn't that Joanna Man?
Yeah. Huh?
That's Joanna Man.
Don't say anything. Anyway.
Hey, no, we're not gonna. No, okay. I'm gonna stop everybody right now before we end this fucking podcast. We don't disrespect Miguel Nunez here, okay? Like, we just don't do that. I won't allow it. I'll let a lot of things go, but like, Miguel Nunez is a fucking treasure. I've had it with you people, like.
Because Bison paid me a fucking fortune.
Because he paid me a freaking fortune, you moron. Like, we don't disrespect him in this house. He's delightful in everything.
We here at the Movie Know It All podcast on the Know It All Network. We love Miguel Nunez Jr. He's great.
We really do. We really do.
So hey Bob, where can people find our awesome podcast?
Man, they can find us wherever fine podcasts are sold. They can find us on Good Pods. They can find us on Spotify, wherever you like to listen to us, man. Listen to us in the car. Listen to us in the bathroom. We're delightful in the bathroom. We help you poop. Are you listening to us while you poop right now? It stinks.
If you want, push. We're going to get through this. Push.
We at the Creepy Podcast would like to thank. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Welcome to my pooping TED Talk. Anyway, yeah, man. And also check us out on Patreon, man. Throw us a couple bucks. We're going to get back to this. So we're going to be doing this on a much more regular basis because it's summertime and we know you guys need us in your ears in the summertime. So
you do. You need us in the summertime, especially.
And also, check out our YouTube channel, the Know It All Network on YouTube. We're going to be throwing this up on the video version on YouTube, so you can listen to us on there as well. Give us some views, man. It'd be cool. So with that being said,
you love us, you need us. You can't live without us, man. We're delightful.
Yeah, we're awesome. We're like an awesome mutant power that everybody has. You know?
That's true. That's true. Our mutant power is useless knowledge.
Yeah. If anybody had mutant powers, we'd be the ones that stay behind and take care of the school.
That's right. We'd be the ones they'd leave in the school that shot by the trank darts and shit.
Yeah. We'd be the first to go.
Is that Brian Cox? Oh shit. Are there any X-Men left that have projectiles?
Yeah. We're the first
with the eyes. Where's the guy with the eyes?
Yeah. Well, with that being said, I'm Will.
I'm Bob.
My friends was a Movie Know It All podcast here on the Know It All Network. We will see you all next time.
Later.